So I ain't gonna hold you. I People would say I would be calling cap if I didn't say you couldn't get wealthy off one asset. But as always, I'm your host Marcel, and I'm known as wealth creator, financial influencer, wealth mentor, and it's all about getting to the bag and making a difference in our money story, right? This is Wealthy Sibling. We created this platform for those who are the pioneers, the ones in their family who will eventually become successful. And most of the time, our sides of the stories don't even get heard, right? The journey of having to be the successful one, the good, the bad entrepreneur, and then the backstory of that. Why do we have to be the first ones? Our family's money story isn't always great, right? And usually we want to be the ones to change that. So I developed this platform simply for that, man, to change your family's money story, that you can become that wealthy sibling. Even if you got to be the first one to do it, you can be that wealthy relative, the successful one who changes the dynamic of your family story. And the conversation I want to have tonight is yes, you are one asset away from wealth. This is true. I can't even I can't sit here and talk to you about the people who say, man, you need to do X, Y, and Z and diversity. And you one shot, you one asset from changing your family's money story and your story, right? Now, the talk of the town and on the market. So, if this is your first time listening to me, and a little backstory on who I am. I'm known as Marcel Griffin. I'm the CEO of Griffin Speaks. I do financial literacy, professional development, aka business, and I want to create 1 million wealthy mentees. Right? I go by the Wealth Mentor. I go to schools and high schools. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a speaker, right? And my professional goal is to make sure that you understand how to leverage any opportunity. Right? Created 3 books, 2 ebooks, 1 published author officially. And they're each gratified about you starting, right? And not waiting, you just starting, right? Not waiting on the perfect time to get in the market, to get an opportunity. You create wealth from where you are. Just start, bro. Start right now. That's it. I don't need you to have a perfect credit score. I don't need you to have perfect attendance. I don't need you to have perfect grades, but I need you to start, right? And when you start, have a direction, right? So when we talk about the one asset, right? When we start having these conversations, really what I mean is, do you know which asset you're gonna tackle? Do you know what direction you're gonna take? Because it only take one. It's only gonna take one for you to be wealthy. A lot of the talk of the town on the market, especially the stock exchange, is the world has dropped the bag. They've changed their direction, changed their decisions on what they're going to build wealth on, what actions they're going to take to get there, and the goals that they're going to set. So now, the one asset a lot of people was like, it was Bitcoin, it's crypto, it's the digital gold, it's that one asset. Some people are still definitely going to agree with you 100%. Now, is it the only asset? No, it's not the one and only. One of the things that I'm sitting with, because I got to climb a mountaintop, right? And the only thing that's keeping me here is the belief in this one asset. It's Bitcoin. Mainly Bitcoin, but essentially crypto, right? Do you believe in crypto? Now, crypto has proven me wrong, shown me that one decision and waiting on others, for example, waiting on other people to make a decision that you should believe in yourself. Waiting on others to approve the asset, saying that, yo, I really believe this asset is going to, be the one, but I'm waiting on the other 10 people to agree with me when I could just do it myself. So for me in this very moment, it's the stock attached to the asset, right? But do I believe in Bitcoin? I believe in the use cases that this one asset can provide over multiple economic structures. Of course. I've seen physical products be made and put in banks, put in currency exchanges, things having to do with the currency, right? With the exchange of currency and the economical attachment to it. I've seen things physically built to be used for digital currency, cryptocurrency, or quote unquote directly Bitcoin. We've literally made physical products, Bitcoin ATMs, Bitcoin transaction machines, or the product that they say is not going to be around. You don't put excess energy in building something to help the process go smoother unless you've already decided that the process is going to go smooth. See what I'm saying? But could this be your one asset? It could. Is it too late? A lot of people are going to tell you maybe, right? Some people are definitely going to tell you, yeah. Me, I'm going to hit you like this. As your wealthy sibling, I'm going to say it's never too late for you to start, but you got to realize where you're starting from. So you ain't starting from first base in the realm of Bitcoin. You starting, well, no, let me rephrase that. You think you're starting from third base in the realm of Bitcoin and you can see home plate, right? So you can get the home run, right? The actual reality is on this asset, you're starting from first base. The home plate is pretty far. It's pretty far away from where you could have been. And it's only because it'll eventually get to 100K and it'll eventually get to 150K. It's not going back down to 20 and 40. I don't see that. I don't see that period with the amount of institutions and the fact that this came out on a few articles. Yahoo Finance for sure had mentioned it because I watch news when I review stocks and other things, right? Especially if it's attached to any of the assets or the plays I'm in. If one of the most established banks has a price prediction for Bitcoin themselves, do you think that they're counting Bitcoin out from the way that the world is going to work? Because this is that one asset they believe will make them a lot of money or wealthy, right? Another thing, when I say you're one asset away from being wealthy, and you should decide which one that is, it doesn't have to be trading. It doesn't have to be crypto. The asset could be yourself. You can be the one asset that once you get it together, once you prime it and you train it and you prepare it, you can be the asset that can make you wealthy. If you want to be a top tier lawyer, right? You got to go to grad school, undergrad school. You got to practice law, criminal justice. If you want to be a top tier doctor, you got to go to med school. You got to practice pre-med. You got to get your degree. Now, here's the great thing about you being that one asset yourself. There is no cap on how wealthy you want to make yourself. Like for real. When it comes to internally, you decide your value. Either you're a trillionaire or you're zero, right? They just the wildest thing, they just quote unquote stop processing the penny, right? Or making the penny. Math was already not mathing when they told us that our kids now age are doing different math and 2 + 2 isn't 4 no more. And now you finna tell me that you gonna try to add up my change when there's still a 1 between 1 and 10. There's still odd numbers between 1 and 10, and you're gonna say you can give me correct change without a penny? Now, at face value, like, what? That makes no sense. Makes no sense. Now, if you're going to tell me you're going to exchange the material that the coin is made of, right? Like you're going to make a silver penny. Okay, that's new. But to take it out of the equation is just, okay, I got beside myself, right? But in regards to the penny, you don't need to be the penny, right? You don't need to assess your value to only this one standard. You can be a trillionaire, right? Other examples is if you wanted to be a top tier real estate developer, you still got to prep yourself. That can be your one asset to wealth. If you wanted to say your voice, right? So for me, because I am the CEO of Griffin Speaks, my voice is my number one asset to wealth. Who I speak to, why I speak to them, and how I get the message out. I want to create 1 million wealthy mentees because I want to change the direction of my entire community and communities that are very similar to mine. What does that mean? That each one of the mentees that I impact, they understand the value within themselves. They understand what they can do with the value, right? So there's a handful of my mentees who say, "But I am going to be the millionaire of millionaires of doctors, right? And I'm going to make a chain of millionaires of millionaires of doctors." Now there's extensions of what? It's hospitals in my communities like mine. It wasn't. I'm going to be the millionaires to millionaires of lawyers, policemen, judges, education, professors. I'm going to be the asset that changes the wealth of my community. I'm going to be that one asset. For me, that's the best and greatest way you need to be thinking. Now, we talking individually. Let me talk to you. Johnny, what you think? James, what you think? Kiki, what you think? Keisha, what you think? What am I good at? Am I a good reader? Am I a good cook? Can I whip and saute a filet, right? What is the extension about one asset that's going to make me wealthy? Go all in on that dream too. Don't limit yourself to other people's expectations when they have no idea how you are going to define yourself like a diamond. They have no idea what type of cut that you will end up being as a diamond and as an asset. They don't know. The creator put you together, but you have to make sure that you block out the noise to identify what is my asset. Who will I be? If I'm going to be in entrepreneurship, what type of entrepreneur do I want to be? Do I want to be the stereotypical one that just gets by day and I make slight profit if it costs me $10,000 a month to run my business and I'm making 11, I'm smooth? No. Do you want to be the one that makes impact and make bad? But yeah, it only costs me $10,000 a month to run my business, but I'm making over $50,000 a month in income. $50,000 net, that means you're making $60,000 in revenue. So what we talking about? I can't really tell you that, it's not useful for you to have more than one asset, more than one piece of diversity to make, this work. But I'm also not going to tell you that you're not just one asset away from being wealthy. Keep that on your mind, man. For sure. But always like, share, subscribe. If you want to get in the rooms and opportunities for this, as always, you can grab my ebook, How to Build a $1 Million Network. If you wanted to get into the stock market, you can grab How to Start Investing with just $500 or below. And lastly, if you think that your circumstances are defining your future. It's not. You just need to make a trade. And you can purchase my book, The Trade I Made, how choices built my future, right? And grab all those on my website and Amazon at griffinspeaks.com. But as always, like, share, subscribe. I'm your boy Marcel. Appreciate y'all. Let's get to a bag, but let's become that wealthy sibling for sure.